move on to number 4. Now we have 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 are all based off long form 1. So now let's start with Mr. Newman, and Mr. Kearney comes over here for a moment. And let's have Mr. Newman demonstrate. So we'll start off in position here. Now just for your short form 1 and long form 1 are similar in some ways. The footwork is quite similar. But the extra move is going to be a reverse punch. So there's going to be a punch like this added in, and also there's going to be 1 or 2 more stances. So let's start off. So Mr. Newman steps back, inward block, and punch. Cat stance, inward, step back again, inward, punch. Step up, inward, outward, punch. Step back, inward, outward, punch. Very good. Position again. Okay, now that was the movement you're going to need for your number 4 tip on your yellow belt going for orange. Let's start again. So inward block, punch. Inward block, double inward blocks, punch. Step up, inward, outward, punch. Step back, inward, outward, punch. Okay, let's get a new angle on this one. So let's take it from facing this direction, Mr. Newman. Move forward towards me, please. Okay, so step back, inward block, punch. Very good. Now, this is a transition stance, the next one, so he's going to flow through it quite quickly. Inward, inward, punch. Step up, inward, outward, punch, step back, inward, outward, and punch. Very good. Okay, and let's get one last position, face this direction here. Ready, and 1, punch, 2, punch, 3, punch, 4, punch. Very good. Let's face at the original position. Okay, that was number 4 tip on your going for junior orange belt. Now we're going to cover number 5 tip, and it's still on long form 1, so we're going to expand long form 1. So Mr. Newman starts again. He's in position. He goes through the first maneuver, block with a punch, double block, step up, inward, outward, step back, inward, outward. Now that was your first tip. Now let's go to the next piece. So he steps across, elbow, overhead, punch, step back, inward, overhead, and punch. Now he steps up and in with an inside downward and a block and punch, and steps back with an inside downward, downward and punch. Okay, let's take a new angle. Let's face this direction, please. Okay, now he's in position, he goes back. He has block and in, block again, 1, 2, and punch. Step up, inward, outward, punch. Step back, inward, outward, punch. That was the first tip. Now step across, elbow, overhead, punch. Now we're going to step back with an inward overhead, punch, step up, downward block, punch, step backward, downward block, and punch. Good. Let's do one final angle facing this direction. So we have step back, inward block, and punch, step back, inward block, and punch, step up, inward, outward, punch, step back, inward, outward, punch. Step across, overhead, punch, step back, inward, overhead, punch, step up, inside, down, block, and punch, step back, inside, downward, punch. Okay, very good. Now we're going to cover number 6 tip on the junior orange belt. Okay, so Mr. Newman steps back, gives an inward block and punch, step back, inward block and punch, steps up, inward, outward, step back, inward, outward. Okay, that's number 4 tip. Now number 5, steps across, overhead and punch, step back, overhead and punch, steps up, downward block and punch, step back, downward block and punch. And that makes number 5. Now, here we go for number 6, which is the 3 inward blocks. 1, 2, 3, step back, 1, 2, 3, up, 1, 2, 3, back, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and that makes number 6 tip. Okay, now let's take this angle here, position here. So same again. First off, we go back, we're going with inward block and punch, inward block and punch. He moves up, inward, outward. He moves back, inward, outward. Okay, now that's your number 4 tip. Now number 5 tip, he steps across, overhead and punch. He steps back, overhead and punch. Steps up and downward block and punch. Steps back, downward block and punch. Good, that's number 5. Now here's number 6. Inward blocks, 1, 2, 3, step back. Inward blocks, 1, 2, 3. Step up. Outward blocks, 1, 2, 3. And back, outward blocks, 1, 2, 3. And that completed number 6 tip. Let's face this direction here. Position. Okay, so we start again. So the new angle. So back goes back, inward block and punch. inward block and punch, step up, inward, outward, step back, inward, outward. Very good. And that was number 4 tip. Now number 5 tip, go across, overhead and punch, step back, overhead and punch, step up, downward block and punch, step back, downward block and punch. Now we have our 3 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now the outward blocks, 1, 2, 3, and back outward blocks. Very good. And that gave us number 6 tip. Now let's face the front direction, the last position. Now step back, inward block and punch, inward block and punch, step up, outward block and punch, step back, outward block and punch. There's number 4 tip. Now number 5, go across, inward overhead, step back, inward overhead, step up, downward block, step back, downward block. And there's number 5. Now number 6, the inward blocks. 1, 2, 3, step back. 1, 2, 3, upwards. There you go, outward blocks, and again outward blocks. And then we hold that position, and that gives you your number 6 position. That completes number 6. Well done. Okay, we're going to cover number 7 tip required for your junior orange belt. And we're nearly to the end of the form now. So Mr. Newman begins, we're going to back, inward block, with a punch, inward block, with a punch. He continues around, keeps going, back, inward, outward, steps across, continues. So if you're very familiar with these moves, keeps going back, very good, keeps moving, and holds. Now this is where you are, that's up to your number 6 tip. Now number 7 steps across, overhead, overhead, and overhead, steps back, overhead, 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 and then steps up, downward block, downward block, downward block, steps back, downward, downward, and downward. And that's number 7 tip. Now if he faces this direction, same thing again, position again. He begins to form as normal. Then you have your normal inward blocks. And you have your outward, with your punches, outward with your punches, your overheads, then your downward blocks, then your downward blocks with your punch. Your 3 blocks, your outward blocks, your outward blocks. There's the new piece for number 7. He covers across, overhead, overhead, and overhead, steps back, overhead, overhead, and overhead. He steps up, down, down, and down, steps back, down, down, and down. That's number 7. Let's take the one final angle facing this direction. So position. And he goes back, same thing, good block, hit the forward bow. Watch those stances, a good solid stance. He hits that forward bow each time. Punch, comes across, covering. There's his overhead block, there's a nice forward bow. Punch, hit a forward bow, block, hit a forward bow. Here's his 3 blocks, then his outward blocks, then his outward blocks. And if he turns to face me, it's going to be doing those overheads. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now you move up to the front, downward blocks. Great. And that completes number 7 tip required for junior orange belt. Okay, now we're heading for 8 tip on the yellow belt for moving forward for junior orange. Your final orange tip to get your orange belt. And this means you need to do the complete form. So let's go all the way through. Mr. Newman begins. Same as you always go, hitting those nice stances, good solid punches, good nice movement. He goes right through it, good overhead block, steps in, downward blocks, step in, downward blocks. Nice directional shape, nice posture, good hands up, steps across, overhead blocks, comes to the front, goes these downward blocks. Now here's where we go to the number final movement. He steps in the horse stance and inside downward block, 1, 2, 3, inside downward block, palm up, 1, 2, 3. Now the push downs come in, 1, 2, 3, center, corner, side, uppercut, set, and then close. And that completes long form 1. Let's select a new angle. So Mr. Newman faces me here. Position. So it goes across, there's normal form again. You should be very familiar with the form now. It's very similar to short form 1, but we've added a punch in. And then you have a punch in. Good. Go back. Now the 3 blocks are like doing short form 1, but you're using 3 blocks. So in, there's the outward block and an extra block. Outward block and an extra block. There's your 3 overheads, same thing again. 3 overheads, come up to the downward blocks, Now, as we go to horse stance, it's inside downward block, inside downward block, inside down. Palm down, palm down, palm down, push, push, push. Now the center punch, corner punch, corner punch, side punch, uppercut, uppercut, in position, and then he closes. And in one final view, we go from this angle here, you get a back view of the form. So again, Mr. Newman begins, inward with a punch, inward with a punch, inward outward, goes across, overhead and punch, steps up, downward block, 1, 2, 3 blocks, 1, 2, 3 blocks, steps across, out, steps back and out, steps across and overhead, steps back and overhead, steps up, downward block, punch, downward blocks, here we go. Now here we come to the end. Inside block, inside block, inside block, inside down, inside down, inside down, push down, punches, center, center, corner, corner, side, side, uppercut, uppercut, position, and close. And that would complete your junior orange belt syllabus. So what you need to do now is, your teacher will now review your other techniques and the rest of the form, and if you've maintained and learned your lessons, you will be considered for a testing date in the future. Well done. Looking forward to see you making your orange belt.